Back on the podcast, so happy to be joined by Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Matt today is that I've really been impressed by a lot of guys around the league and what they've done charitably. Obviously, Drew Brees with the headline act of giving $5 million to so many needy causes in New Orleans, but also so many players. Kyle Rudolph giving $82,000 to buy meals, for kids and their families in the Twin Cities. Jared Goff and Andrew Whitworth, basically buying 1 million meals to distribute to school children in and around Los Angeles now that they don't go and get their meals at school because obviously school is not there. Matt Ryan, in addition, basically has given $50,000 to the Atlanta Community Food Bank and $50,000 to Giving Kitchen, which, among other things, will help quarantine food service workers get meals. And so, Matt, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. I think it's really cool the way so many players, and I have mentioned only a fraction of them, so many players have sort of stepped up at a time in this country where, nobody really knows how this thing is going to end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you mentioned so many guys, and I know so many more that have done, what we all should be doing if we're in position to be able to help. And, there's a lot of great causes. I think, everybody's kind of targeted some causes that are close to their heart. And for us, my wife and I, we have so many friends here in Atlanta that are in the food industry and that own restaurants or are servers at restaurants and who have been totally affected by this virus and the quarantine and the shutdown. And we were just hoping to be able to help them. And we have friends at the Giving Kitchen who do a great job and have done a great job in the past helping service workers that, come across hard times, either get sick or for various reasons are out of work, and they try and help them out. And we felt like at this time it was important to give there. And then also, with the Atlanta Community Food Bank, so many kids are out of school, are dependent on 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch, at their school. And with schools being out and, families, struggling to put food on the table, we felt like that was a good avenue to go. And for us, we're not done. We're going to continue to evaluate the situation and see, what areas, what additional areas we can help in and try and, make an impact to help our community.
So, Matt, you obviously at this point, you are you're sort of into the middle of your off season, but you're not able to do anything now in your off season. What would you normally be doing in a year, like in March and early April of a normal off season?
I think that's a time where, typically I'd be, starting to throw maybe twice a week and, getting some younger guys to come to work out with me. And so, developmental guys like Russell Gage, guys like Christian Blake, who were on our roster last year and played for us in the second half of the season. I think this time of the year typically is a time where I try and work with those kind of guys and accelerate their learning curve before we get started back. That hasn't been the case this year. I think all of us are trying to do our part to, social distance and stay away and, try and keep everybody as safe as possible. But that's typically what I would be doing, and I'm not doing that right now.
Who would you say are your other teammates, peers, friends, either in or out of football, who have done some things since the coronavirus really has started to hit hard, who you would, say have really done things to help people?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Drew earlier, and what he and Brittany are doing for the community in New Orleans is, it's unbelievable. He's been a friend of mine, for a long time. Obviously a competitor, but he's always been a guy that I've looked up to in how to handle things, and I think he's done a great job, with that. You know, you look across the league, though, and across sports. I mean, for me, a guy in town in Atlanta, Freddie Freeman, who plays for the Braves, made a commitment of $50,000 to the Atlanta Community Food Bank, and as well as an additional $50,000 to the Giving Kitchen. And so, just in our own town, $100,000 going to each of those organizations makes a big impact for a few weeks. And I thought that was pretty cool of him to step up and match that. You're seeing it all across, different avenues of sports. And, I think it's a really good thing. I think, unfortunately, sometimes it takes crisis to bring out the best side of everyone. And I think at this time, I think you're seeing that.
What's been the most difficult part for you, Matt, to cope with? Your physical person. You obviously must want to get out and do things and throw and lift and be with other people and all that. What's been difficult for you over the last 2-3 weeks?
I'm very fortunate in that in my house I have a good setup to be able to to lift and to get all the training that I need to get done, really outside of throwing. And so I'm fortunate in that respect. I think more so than anything, I think people miss the social aspect of being able to connect with people in a restaurant or a bar or an event. I think those kind of things are probably what we've missed the most. I think that's something that my wife and I would like to do. It's a break for us. It's kind of what kind of our date nights and those kind of things keep us going. But but you adjust and you adapt, and so from that standpoint, it's also given us more time at home for me with my sons, and to be able to spend more time with them is always a good thing. So I always try and find the silver lining in it. I think every situation creates some obstacles that you got to adjust to, but they also create some really cool opportunities, and that's been the case for me the last 2 or 3 weeks.
How old are your boys now? 2?
My boys, yeah, they just turned 2 in February.
Wow. And it's really interesting. You talked about that. Jared Goff told me the other day that one of the cool things for him is that usually an off season can be a little bit frenetic, and you're going to do a bunch of things, and it isn't so bad to be able just to sit down and maybe play a board game or with your friends, or to do something a little quieter rather than to be out doing things. And I wonder, not that you're looking for a silver lining in this horrible thing, but has that part of it been good for you?
Yeah, for sure. I find myself reading more than I normally do, which to me is a good thing. I think you have this opportunity where you have some more time on your hand, and you might as well take advantage of it. And so I've been able to read more, which I'm always looking for ways to try and improve or learn things, or just hear other people's experiences, and that part of this I think has been good for me.
Give me an idea of something you've read that has helped you. Are you a book reader? Are you an article reader? What have you been spending your time reading?
I just finished a book, Educated, by Tara Westover. It was a really good book. A biography to a certain extent of her life and the things that she's overcome to get to the position that she's at. And I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend it to anybody who's listening to this to go out and check out this book. I just finished it probably 2 days ago. But it's stuff like that, stuff that I normally wouldn't have the opportunity or the time to be able to do. And now with maybe a few extra hours of the day at home on hand, that's what I've taken to.
What did you take from Sarah Westover? What'd you take out of that book?
Yeah, it's an incredible book. She grew up, never having gone to school in the mountains in Idaho, and ended up, graduating for BYU, then going to Cambridge, and being at Harvard, getting her doctorate there. I mean, just an unbelievable road that she took. And I think it goes to show you that, everybody's path is different. And the things that you deal with, experience along the way are what make you you. And I think it caused me to maybe reflect a little bit more on my path and some of the obstacles that came up that really forged who I was. And I enjoyed that aspect of it.
I've got 2 football questions for you, and I'll let you run. You got Todd Gurley on your team now. That's going to be kind of cool.
That's very cool. Very cool. I think the people in the state of Georgia are going to love that too. Him coming back here after having played college football here. And he's a special talent. There's no question. And, hopefully we can keep him fresh and healthy. And because if he is, he's one of the best in the business and certainly a good pickup for us.
So you lose Austin Hooper. You guys had some cap difficulties. Obviously, I'm sure you would have liked to have kept Austin Hooper. What's the biggest issue now with losing him, and how do you think you'll be able to work the pieces to so that loss doesn't really hurt you a lot?
Well, it's obviously, disappointing from a personal standpoint, because he was a great teammate, great friend, but you're also very happy for him because he deserves, every penny. He's worked extremely hard. He's been extremely productive. He's going to do a great job in Cleveland. I think our trade for Hayden Hurst is going to benefit us. And, my hope is that when things calm down in terms of social distancing and people having to stay away from each other, we'll have an opportunity to get together and to try and get on the same page as fast as possible, because I think he's a talented player that, can really help us. I also think, we have to have some of our young guys like Russell Gage and Olamide Zaccheaus, and, we picked up Laquan Treadwell. I think those are guys that we're going to have to see how they fit into the scheme for us to create some of that production that we lost with Austin.
Did the Tom Brady news surprise you?
I guess it's always surprising when somebody is with someone for so long, 20 years, to see them in a different place. But nothing surprises me in this league in terms of the amount of turnover and guys being in different places. Once I knew he was gone, I thought there was a good possibility he would end up in Tampa.
Wow. Interesting. That'll be fun though, won't it? You're gonna have 4 games a year, at least for this year, against Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Those are things you'll have to put in the Matt Ryan time capsule.
Absolutely. It's a unique opportunity to play against 2 of the best players of all time, and to be able to, compete against them. And, I look forward to that opportunity. And, we say it all the time, if you're going to beat the best, if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, certainly those are 2 of the best. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, that's for sure, as a team and in division. But we look forward to that challenge and look forward to competing against these guys this year.
Any reason why Brady going to Tampa didn't surprise you?
I thought it would be a good fit. I mean, they've got two great wide receivers, really good tight end. I thought their defense was one of the best defenses we faced all of last year. And, when you add, him to the mix, a guy that is so productive and such a great and prolific winner, it made sense to me.
Hey, I'll get you out on this, Matt. I've been asking a few guys this week, but I wonder, how do you avoid going stir crazy, being in the house a lot now, and how difficult has that been for, I assume you're a pretty active person, you're an NFL player.
Yeah, that part of it is a little tough. You're used to, for me, I'm used to being outdoors all day, and luckily where we live in Atlanta, there's space, and we've got, plenty of space on our property to be able to get outside. We've got a pool. The weather's been great to be able to get in that. So we've been trying to get outside at a safe distance as much as possible to keep from feeling like we're too cooped up. And I'm lucky to have a house in a space that allows for that.
Matt Ryan, really good of you to join me this week, and I'm sure that all of Atlanta thanks you for your generosity at a time of great need. So thanks very much.
I appreciate it, Peter. Thank you for having me on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.